Hello everyone, welcome back. So this is part 2 of getting started with Vibium, and if you haven't seen part 1 of this video, I would urge you to head over to my page, my channel, and watch the part 1. So in part 1 we uh, created a project, um, initialized it, installed Vibium, created our first test file, which we called source demo test, and we added our code implementation. And all we are doing here is basically opening the browser here and navigating to sourcedemo.com and taking our first screenshots, identifying our username and interacting with it, identifying password and interacting with it as well, and finally identifying the login button and interacting with it. And we went ahead to quit the browser after that. Now, let's see where we are up to, and then we can switch things up a little bit and try to see what else Vibium has to offer. I'm going to quickly run this test. And as you can see, the browser opened and we entered the username and password, and everything ran successfully, no issues. And our console.log has given us a clear explanation of what has happened step by step. So the first one, it says loaded source demo, which is what we typed here. And the second, saved screenshot, and you can see the screenshot right here. If I click on it, it will show you the image of the page where it took a screenshot. And this screenshot is in .png. JPEG will currently not work. And then the next thing, we identify the username and typed into the username, identify the password, type into it, and click the login button. And that's it. So it's pretty straightforward. The setup is straightforward and the code looks pretty decent and straightforward. Now, what if we want to run our test in headless mode? Now, as you can see right here, we have headless equals false, meaning I want to be able to see the actions being performed on the browser when the browser opens. So when I ran the test earlier, we saw the browser open and every action got performed as we're seeing it. What if I change it to true, meaning I don't want to see the browser at all, and it's going to run in the background and still give us the same output result. So I'll go ahead and run the test again. And this time around, the browser should not open and it should still give us detailed information as to all the steps that has been executed. So that's how you can run your test in headless mode or headed mode. Now, the next thing you take notes or you will notice is we are currently using the console.log to give us information of all the executed steps or all the codes that has been executed. Now, this can be presented in a much better way. So as a result, we are going to be using the test function. Why do we want to use the test function? Because it will also help us to categorize our test so that we can have different test coverages. Because currently in this file, we only have one scenario flow. And if we attempt to add another scenario, there's going to be a bit of a clash, and we just have to find a way to separate them. And as a result, I'm going to import the test function. So I'll type const and type test, and I'm going to import the test dependency, and we'll go ahead and use this test to categorize or separate our scenarios. So I'm going to copy all of this and store them in a test. So I currently don't need this, so I'm just going to replace it. So this is what we're going to have. And let me clean up this a little bit. So there we go. We now have our tests separated, and we can call this source demo test 1. So what this allows us to do now is to have multiple different scenarios. So I can go ahead and copy and then have 2 tests, and again I can have test 3 right there. So we now have test 1, test 2, and test 3 all inside of one test file. So if we run this test now, we are going to see a much more detailed information of the test execution steps. Let's go ahead and run the test. I'll run it in headless mode for now, so you can see the test is being executed in the background. The browser is not being opened, and then the first one has completed, the second one has completed, it's now started the last one, and there you go. So you can see this is source demo test 1, source demo test 2, and source demo test 3. And it tells us clearly here that 3 tests were executed and all 3 passed, no failures, and so on. So this is a very easy, clearer way of running or separating all your tests. And then we can now go ahead and focus on other things. So also still bear in mind, you can create multiple different files, categorize all your tests, which we'll come to at a later part in this video. We will also be creating or refactoring such that we can do page object model architectural design, all in this tutorial. So for now, let's just take it step by step. So after doing this, the next thing we want to have a look at is screenshots. So you can see that for each of the tests that was executed, one screenshot was taken, and we had 3 different scenarios, and they were all taking the same screenshots, right? So you can see that each of them took 3 each screenshots, and the screenshots we are seeing here is just 1 instead of 3. So that's because each screenshot needs to have a unique name. So in source demo test 1, we had save screenshot. I'm just going to give it a name, save screenshot 1. And actually, let me change this here. And then I'm going to change the name for the second one. So I'll call it save screenshot. Actually, it should be 1. Bad. And the second one should be save screenshot 2, and the final one should be save screenshot 3. So if we now run the tests, what we should be expecting to see is 3 different screenshots taken, so the second test is executing and the third one has just started, and there we go. So you can see screenshot 1, screenshot 2, and screenshot 3. Although they are all the same, but just a way of separating all the screenshots individually to be specific for each test. So we can also go ahead and store all the screenshots in a folder so that they can be, organized. We don't want too many screenshots, flying around the Explorer window. So what I'm going to do is to delete all of these screenshots right here, and I'm going to create a folder. So I'll call that folder screenshot. Press enter, and then I'm going to copy the relative path for the screenshot folder, and I'm going to store it right here. Um, there's the second one and the first one. So if I attempt to run all these tests again now, we should see all of the screenshots taken and stored inside of this folder. So as you can see, screenshot 1 has been saved successfully. Screenshot 2 has now been saved, and we're waiting for the third one. There you go. The third one has been saved successfully. So there you go. All the information clearly displayed so that you can see exactly what you have executed and what is passing and what is failing. So I hope this helped. We are going to stop this right here and on to the next video. So if you like contents like this, please do subscribe, like, comment, and see you in the next video where we are going to be talking a little bit about assertions. Thank you.